Welcome to CBT News with Cheyenne Malone.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CBT News. I'm Cheyenne Malone. Thanks so much for watching. Here's a look at today's top automotive industry stories.
BMW reported a sales total of over 500,000 units for the first quarter, beating last year's count by roughly 1%. The German automaker attributed the marginal increase to a near 30% surge in electric vehicle sales, which hit the 1 million mark during the January through March period. For the remainder of 2024, the company expects EVs and premium models to continue driving sales higher than last year. New data suggests that used electric vehicles are on track to become cheaper than their gas price counterparts after rapid price cooling in the sector. Although affordability is often cited as a key obstacle to EV adoption, battery analytics platform Recurrent discovered that the average price of a used EV has fallen 27% year over year to roughly $24,000. This places more EV on the market below the $25,000 maximum for tax credit eligibility, meaning that a record number of buyers qualify for an additional $4,000 rebate. General Motors' driverless taxi subsidiary Cruise will relaunch its operations after months of suspension, this time with human supervision. The brand plans to reintroduce a small fleet of vehicles in Phoenix, all of which will be driven by humans, quote, to create maps and gather road information, according to a company blog post. Cruise was forced to pause its robotaxi services last October after one of its unsupervised vehicles struck and dragged a pedestrian in California. Ford is recalling more than 42,000 vehicles over a potential fire hazard. The recall includes Bronco Sport and Escape SUVs, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The agency says that fuel injectors in both models can crack under certain conditions, creating a fire risk if not detected. Ford dealers will resolve the issue through software updates and drain tube installations. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Sean Johnson, General Manager at Porsche Brooklyn, to discuss the role of mentorship in cultivating a diverse workforce.
CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV.
And with decades of experience, I imagine you've seen a lot, right? Has the amount of diverse leadership, especially at the top, changed since when you first started?
It hasn't changed much in my eyes, and I keep a serious focus on it. And like even from when I became a manager at the store I was at, and I owe that company a lot. I was with them for about 17 years. I was the only manager of color in a position of authority. You know, a sales manager. We had a finance manager, Sam Odenkara. I can remember the guys who were there in positions of that were minorities, Sam Odenkara and a guy named Tony Copeman that worked with us for a little bit, but they were in the finance side of it, was primarily just direct that end of the business. But as far as being in charge of personnel and things like that, I was it. And going through that, and for a company to be around and be that successful, I was surprised that, that there wasn't a lot of minorities in general, specifically Black men or Black women, being in positions to run their stores.
And you can watch this full interview right here at cbtnews.com. That wraps up our coverage for today, but we do invite you right back here tomorrow morning on cbtnews.com. Remember, you can stay up to date with the most recent news and trends influencing the retail automotive industry by following us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. And now you can find CBTs in over 70 million broadcasting households. We're on Roku, Apple TV, Android, and iOS devices. Simply search CBT News in the App Store on your smartphone or device, and you can watch our programming whenever, wherever. I'm Cheyenne Malone. Thanks so much for watching. You have a good one.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content.